Hi, this is Usha. Welcome to Rathod's IAS classes. Today in this lecture, we are going to see the current affairs of 2nd March 2022. So let's get started with our discussion and let us try to see today's quote. So today's quote is regarding leadership. So leadership, it is also one of the important qualities that a civil servant needs. So if you see the quote here, so this quote is given by John Maxwell. According to him, a leader is one who knows the way, who goes the way and shows the way. So this is some important character that a leader should have. So now let us try to see first topic. It is regarding Third World War. So title says Third World War talk that could be hyperbole. So here we need to talk about this Third World War. So why we need to talk about this World War III now? Because of this Russia-Ukraine conflict. So now let us try to see this topic in a very great detail. So this article is important from your international relations point of view, which mainly comes in a GS paper too. And this topic is at most important from your mains. You can't expect any prelims based questions from this topic. But there is a high chance of getting questions regarding Russia and Ukraine map. Okay. So you have to know about different straits which are present, okay, and you have to know about Sea of Azov, Sea of Marmara, Black Sea and Mediterranean Sea regarding this topic from your world map, okay, regarding questions. So now let us try to see this topic in a very great detail. So if we are talking about why it is in news, because of this Russia-Ukraine conflict. So due to this Russia-Ukraine conflict, and now recently we are seeing there is a signs of further escalation of conflict levels between this Russia and Ukraine. Okay, so there is a increased signs of further escalation of conflict between Russia and Ukraine, which is mainly accompanying new rhetoric of an even wider conflagration in the offing concerns about possibility of Third World War. So because of this increasing of escalation between this Russia and Ukraine, so there were some provocative steps which were taken by Russia. So Russia recently stopped this gas exports for the Poland and as well as Belgium. Okay, so because of this, there is one more important conflict that is seen mainly. And during the past few days, what is further evident is that both sides, it seemed to intend on enlarging the scale of conflict. So from the Ukraine side and from Russian side, so both the side there is a sign of increasing of escalation of tensions and there is enlarging of scale of conflict rather than trying to end this conflict between this Russia and Ukraine. So in past week, even US and North Atlantic Treaty Organization, in short NATO, they mainly pursued the success of Ukraine's resistance to this Russia's aggression. And that further raised the stakes by pledging additional packages of lethal weapons to Ukraine. So from NATO, they are getting, that is Ukraine getting some lethal weapons as well. And on the other side, Russia is also responding equally, and Russia it is also been having like equal threatening to this Ukraine as well. So Russia also said that, Russia's foreign minister also said that, yes, if there is increasing of escalations, so it might be also lead to the possible of nuclear war. So it might be leading to Third World War. So we are not going to underestimate, okay, we are not going to inconsiderable, and that situation might not be underestimated. So even if there is a chance, we can go for using of this nuclear weapons as well. So this is the thing which mainly said by Russian foreign minister. And even deputy chairman of this Russia Security Council, he also warned Sweden and Finland. So Sweden and Finland, they are Scandinavian countries, they want to join this NATO. So because of this, here Russia Security Council deputy chairman, he warned this Sweden and Finland if they decided to join this NATO. Okay, and Russia also said that they are not going to hesitate even to use this nuclear weapons and hypersonic missile against this Sweden and as well as Finland. So all signs are mainly reassuring, and we are having concerns regarding this nuclear holocaust now. Okay, so because already you know that, so first time hydrogen bomb, that is atomic bomb, which mainly dropped on Japan, especially in places called as Nagasaki and Hiroshima. So here now at this situation we are having a potential of using of nuclear weapons that had been increased multifold times, and nuclear weapons, they are also no longer the monopoly of only one single power, because there are many countries which are mainly having this nuclear weapons. And if you are talking about west and east, so east, it is mainly dominated by this nuclear power, nuclear weapons, and it is mainly unfavorable to the west, especially Russia and as well as China, right? So especially Russia and China, they are having a combined strength of nuclear weapons, and this combined capacity of nuclear weapons of this both Russia and China, it is bigger than compared to that of west. So here nuclear balance today is unfavorable to west. Okay, so more to the point here, if two sides were to engage in nuclear conflict, so here the power which is mainly favorable towards east but not west. So if we are talking about what is the real concern of Europe, so as you all know that Europe, which is mainly sharing boundary with Russia, and some part of Russia which also comes under the part of Europe. Okay, so as you all know, Asia continent plus Europe continent, they are present together. So this supercontinent is called as Eurasia. So Asia, which is mainly divided by this Europe by Ural mountains and as well as Caspian Sea is there. Okay, so here what happened, these European countries are the smaller countries in the wise of area, and they want to maintain security, and because of that these smallest countries, they are mainly towards this NATO. NATO, it is a European US military organization or military thing, okay, military group. So here why these European countries they want to join, mainly they want to have the security against this Russia's invasion. So there are many little known facts in this context that because of this prolonged Russia-Ukraine conflict, so it mainly means for the both Europe and as well as the world. So because especially these European countries depend on this Ukraine and as well as Russia for their food. Okay, so for Europe, Ukraine and Russia, they are the bread basket of Europe. And whenever there is a prolonged conflict between these two, which will be having serious consequences on Europe, because food security of this Europe, which made it dependent on this Ukraine and as well as Russia. So European countries, they used to get wheat from this Russia and as well as Ukraine. So because of this prolonged conflict, that led to decreasing of exports of this wheat from Russia and Ukraine. And now these European countries, they need to search for alternatives to get their needs of this wheat. Right? So if you're talking about furthermore, so Europe, it is still mainly it further actually due to this COVID-19 pandemic, it didn't come out of its economic crisis. And whenever there is extension of this war between Russia and Ukraine, that mainly damages the economies even further. Okay, and recently what happened, WTO, that is World Trade Organization, downgraded this European trade forecast to 3% from 4.7% this year. And again, just two companies in Ukraine, they produce about 50% of this global total neon output. So it is a very, very critical gas which mainly required for the laser in chip production, okay, process, and this process is called as lithography. So here in this method of lithography, so this neon is very important, and 50% of this global neon which mainly produced from this Ukraine, so this also had been stalled. And because of this stalling of this export of neon, so chip shortages are expected to cause the production cost in audio, computer and as well as electronic industries. So here we are mainly going to expect that there might be a third world war if these tensions are not resolved. So this is about this topic. And now let us try to see next topic. It is regarding AFSPA, Armed Forces Special Powers Act. So this article is important from your polity point of view, and this article is important from your both prelims and mains. So now let us try to see this topic in a very great detail and why this AFSPA is in use. So recently our central government decided to reduce the area under this AFSPA in the states of Assam, Manipur and Nagaland. Okay, so actually this AFSPA, which is mainly running or implemented in especially northeastern states, and now central government said that we are going to reduce the area under this Armed Forces Special Powers Act in the states of Assam, Manipur and Nagaland. And this act, which has been withdrawn entirely from the 23 districts of Assam, and particularly 7 districts from Nagaland and 6 districts from this Manipur and one So here what happened, so this is a decision which is mainly taken by central government, and it mainly said that we are going to withdraw this AFSPA entirely in Assam, and 7 districts in Nagaland and 6 districts in Manipur. So once the decision is notified in the Gazette, here AFSPA remains in force in the parts of these 3 states, and it will be also continuous in some parts of Arunachal Pradesh and as well as Jammu and Kashmir. So in these areas, in these states, we have this AFSPA, okay, we have this AFSPA that is in force. So if you're talking about some details, why AFSPA being withdrawn now? So because one important reason here is reduction of insurgency. So there is reduction of insurgency, and about 7,000 militants in the northeast, they have surrendered in the recent years. And we also came up with some recent agreements for the peace and stability in the region. For example, 2020 Bodo Accord and 2021 Karbi Analog Pact here. So these are some important root causes for this withdrawing of this AFSPA. And also the killing of 14 people by security forces in Nagaland, okay, that mainly happened in the Mon district recently in 2021. So that led to intensification of this demand for the repeal of this AFSPA in this northeastern region. So because of this, 2 important reasons, that is reduction of insurgency, and we also came with some important pacts, and even recent killing of 14 people by security forces in Nagaland. So these are the 3 important reasons for the repeal or withdrawing of this AFSPA now. So what are the previous attempts that are made by government to repeal this AFSPA? So earlier also there were a number of steps which are mainly taken. So in 2004, central government set a 5-member committee under former Supreme Court Justice, that is Justice G1 Reddy. And later on, after 1 year in 2005, report was submitted, and this report mainly highly said that so imposition of this AFSPA, it is undesirable. We need to go for repealing of AFSPA in this northeastern states. And apart from that, even second ARC, that is Administrative Reforms Commission, which mainly headed by Veerappa Moli, also said about repealing of this AFSPA in these northeastern states. So why was this AFSPA imposed in the northeastern states? First, at the time of 1950s, there were Naga nationalist movement that mainly happened, and after this we came with this NSCN, okay. So because of this, here Assam police forces, they allegedly used force to suppress the movement of this NSCN. So as armed movement which mainly formed in Nagaland, so because of this, AFSPA was passed in the parliament, and after that this AFSPA which mainly imposed in this entire state of Nagaland. And later on in Manipur also in 1958, so 3 Naga dominant districts were there, so they were active. So in that area also this AFSPA which mainly imposed. As successionist and as well as nationalist movements, they started rising in other northeastern states because of this AFSPA which mainly extended to other states of this northeast as well. And if you are talking about why this AFSPA which is unpopular among the people, why people don't like this AFSPA, because in Nagaland, 60 years of living under this AFSPA regime had its psychological consequences, trauma and alienation of people. So whenever there is use of force and as well as AFSPA, they mainly feel that they are further alienated from the mainstream. And here there are various incidents of violence and extrajudicial killings they had been recorded. Okay, so because of this, here people don't want this AFSPA. And now let us try to see next topic. It is regarding jute industry in West Bengal. So I want to give you one homework, students. Here is, you have to refer what are the favorable conditions. What are the favorable conditions for jute production? So what are the favorable conditions for this jute production? So this mainly comes under your geography. So even if you open your NCERT, you can get easily this topic for sure. So now let us try to see context. So what happened, especially these jute mills? Jute mills in West Bengal, they are having some cause of concern here is, so they are buying raw jute. They are buying raw jute at higher price than the selling price of this jute after processing. So they will be buying the jute and they will be going for processing. After processing, so whatever the price you are getting is less compared to the of raw material that they are purchasing. So why is this happening here? So here directly these jute mills, they do not procure this raw material directly from the farmers, but instead there will be middlemen or intermediaries. So intermediaries, they will charge their services as well. So which mainly involves procuring of jute from the farmers, grading, baling, and then bringing the bales to the mills. So what happen, if you see he is a farmer and he is farming this jute, means here the middleman will be there, and this middleman who is going to these farmers and he will be getting raw material, and this middleman he will go for grading of that jute, he will be going for baling, and he is a person who mainly brings that jute to this jute mills. Okay, so here the role of intermediary will be very high because they are also adding their service cost. So the government has fixed MSP, that is minimum support price. So you might be knowing about this minimum support price, right? So even our economic faculty, that is our sir, he discussed number of times regarding this minimum support price in weekly current affairs of economy as well. So if you watch those lectures, then this concept will be very clear. So I am not going to teach about what is this minimum support price. So let me know what is the meaning of this minimum support price in the comment box. So government has fixed minimum support price for this raw jute that should be procured from the farmer, and that price here is rupees 4,750 rupees per quintal for 2022 to 2023 season. But what happened, so whenever this jute which is mainly entering into the mill or reaching the mill, so the quintal cost of this jute will be like 7,200 rupees per quintal. So the maximum price here is 6,500. So above this maximum price also 700 rupees per quintal will be the high that is levied by these intermediaries for this mill owners. So even though our union government has come up with several schemes to prevent de-hoarding, the executive also believes that mechanism which mainly requires a certain system regulation. So what happened, union government says that we should not go for hoarding of this jute, and here executive also believes that we need a mechanism that requires a certain systemic regulation as well. So what happened to supply? So if you're talking about supply of this jute, so here what made the situation worrisome? Because of recent cyclone Umphan. So cyclone Umphan, which mainly happened in May 2020. So because of this cyclone Umphan, so because of subsequent rainfalls in the major jute producing states here, so these events which mainly leads to lower acreage, okay, so lower production. And even what happened, even though if there is some production of this jute, here farmers, they went for extracting of their yield very much early before maturing, that is prematurely. So farmers went for harvesting of this jute. Okay, so because of this now there is some issues regarding the quality of jute as well. So if you are talking about applications of jute, where we can see this using of this jute, so you might be knowing that the food grains are stored mainly in these jute bags, right? So nowadays the handbags are also available, especially in Hyderabad. There is one area called a Shilparamam. There we can get a good quality of jute bags. Okay, so even I got one jute bag from that Shilparamam, and the quality was very good. Okay, so the bulk of this fine jute which mainly produced, that will be used for especially packaging purposes. And what happened now, because of we need to ban the single-use plastic, that led to increased demand for these jute bags. So the provisions of this jute packaging material compulsory use in Packaging Commodities Act of 1987, so which mainly mandates that 100% production of food grains and 20% of sugar production that must be packaged in these jute bags. So on other hand, jute mainly used for manufacturing their products such as furnishing materials, fashion accessories, floor coverings or varied applications in paper and jute textiles, that had been declined from 15.5% to 9.7% in the same period. So what happened, because of no proper supply and because of no proper quality of this jute, so manufacturing of other products which had been decreased. And you all know that Food and Agriculture Organization, India is the largest producer of this jute according to this details or data which is mainly given by this FAO, that is Food Agriculture Organization. So as you all know, India, it is the largest producer of jute, which mainly followed by Bangladesh and as well as China. So in terms of acreage trade, Bangladesh takes a lead account okay, than compared to that of India. So here Bangladesh, which mainly accounts for 3/4 of global jute exports, but India it is just 7%. So what are the important reason here? So the quality of this jute is also very important, and even Bangladesh, which is having good infrastructure, and they are mainly focusing on farm mechanism, lack of availability of the certified seeds, varieties suitable for this country's climate, they are mainly absent here. So in Bangladesh, they are having good infrastructure, so they are having good availability of certified seeds that is absent in India, and even so here varieties which are suitable for this Indian climate is also not present here. So because of this, we are not doing good in this jute production. So further, if you are talking about CACP report, which mainly says that even Bangladesh will also provide some cash subsidies for varied semi-finished and as well as finished jute products. So because of this, the cost of these jute products will be less, and it is mainly giving a tougher competition for the products that we are generating from or producing from India. So this is about this topic. And now let us try to see next topic. It is regarding Delhi dual concurrendum. So this article is mainly talking about Lieutenant Governor, okay, Lieutenant Governor of Delhi versus Chief Minister of Delhi. So this article is important from your polity point of view, which mainly comes under your GS paper 2. And now let us try to talk about this topic. Actually, this topic, it is not at all a new topic. So from 2017-2016 onwards, so this topic is seen in news. So it is talking about, so who is greater? So if you are talking about why it is in news, so Delhi has been in a flashpoint of innumerable power struggles. So it is facing power struggles since 2015 after this Aam Aadmi Party which came into power. Okay, so actually you know that Delhi, it is a national capital region. So there is absence of statehood for this Delhi. So because of this absence of statehood of Delhi, and it is an union territory, so because of this, there is a prolonged confrontation between the powers of Lieutenant Governor and as well as the Chief Minister of this New Delhi. So if you are talking about what are the dilemmas of this dual governance, yes, between this Lieutenant Governor and as well as Chief Minister of Delhi, so there are a number of issues which are mainly going on. So as you all know that the status of Delhi as union territory, which mainly seen under Schedule 1 of our Indian Constitution. So in the Schedule 1 of Indian Constitution, Delhi is said as National Capital Territory, and it mainly comes under Article 239 AA of our Indian Constitution, and it mainly included the 69th Constitutional Amendment Act of 2014. Okay, so here this article 239 AA, which mainly talks about relationship between the elected council of ministers in Delhi and as well as central government, they are under severe strain now. So if we are talking about administrator of Delhi, he is mainly called as Lieutenant Governor. Okay, so he mainly crosses swords with the elected government on multiple issues. So between this Lieutenant Governor and Chief Minister of Delhi, so there are a number of issues which are mainly going on. For example, who will control over agencies, and for example, Anti-Corruption Bureau, Civil Services and as well as Electricity Board. And if you are talking about issues which are mainly pertaining to appointment of this public prosecutor in Delhi, and to appoint Commission of Inquiry under the Commission of Inquiry Act, so they are some important legal questions. Okay, they are under interpretation of the Constitution. So if you are talking about Delhi High Court, which mainly decided in the favor of the central government, which mainly relying on the status of Delhi as a union territory, and it mainly went to appeal for the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court which mainly referred this matter to this constitutional bench on substantial questions of law pertaining powers of elected government of Delhi versus Lieutenant Governor. And later on, court which mainly declared that Lieutenant Governor should be bound by aid and advice of this Council of Ministers, and here this Lieutenant Governor, okay, also have the power to make the laws over all subjects in the figure in the concurrent list, except 3 excluded subjects in the state list. So here Delhi government which is mainly having the power to make laws in the concurrent list except 3 subjects, that is like police, land, and let me know one more thing, that is a third one. So if you are talking about Lieutenant Governor ought to act on based on aid and advice of this Council of Ministers, except when he refers the matter to President for a final decision. So here Lieutenant Governor, he should be bound on the aid and advice of this Council of Ministers. And regarding this Lieutenant Governor power to refer to the President any matter on which there is differences of opinion between this Lieutenant Governor and Council of Minister, then Supreme Court says that here Lieutenant Governor shall act as a facilitator rather than anointing himself as an advisory to elected Council of Ministers. Okay, so if there is any difference of opinion between this Lieutenant Governor and as well as Council of Minister, so who will be the facilitator? So facilitator will be the Lieutenant Governor. So at the same time, court also ruled that National Capital Territory of Delhi cannot be granted the status of statehood, okay, under our constitutional scheme. So after the constitutional bench, which mainly led the new law on the board issues involved, contested questions were listed before a two-judge bench. So later on, they mainly dealt with some questions regarding Anti-Corruption Bureau and Electricity Board, okay, and as well as appropriate authority under Electricity Act of 2003 here. So here central government has the power, Supreme Court said that central government has the power to constitute inquiry commission under this Inquiry Commission Act of 1952, and central government will be having the power to appoint this public prosecutor as well. So unless the stakeholders they recognize this perception, so Delhi would continue to be better administrative and political distress. Okay, next one is this 2020-21 amendment to this Government of National Capital Territory Delhi Act of 1991. So it is a pointer to the possibility that the tug of war will not end. So we need to take some proper measures here. Okay, so this is about this topic. And now let us try to see next topic. Title says April GST revenues go past rupees 1.67 lakh crore. So this article talking about this April GST revenues. So this article is important from your GS paper 3 under economy. So now let us try to see this topic in a very great detail. So if you see context, it mainly says that so this month, April's month of this GST collection is very high. It is about 1,67,540 crore rupees, and they are from goods imports. Okay, for example, the revenues from this good import which is raising 30%. Okay, so service import is raising by which is raising by 17%. Goods import is raised by 30% and service import which raised by 17%. So if you see details, it mainly says that our finance minister said that April's revenue for transactions undertaken in March, which mainly reflected the faster recovery of business quickly. So here, because of this increasing of GST revenues, we can say that yes, there is faster recovery of business activity that is mainly seen. Okay, mainly seen. And next one is overall GST revenues. They are 20% higher than a year ago and 17.9% higher than when we are comparing with this March 2022 collections. So while this GST collections in respect to March, that has always been recorded high, and these collections are because of some favorable factors, including some recent changes in permitting of input tax credit, okay, upon timely complaints by the vendors. So here what happened, we can say there is increasing of economic activities in the country, and we can say there are multiple favorable factors are there, and there is tax input credits are mainly seen on time here. And even GST compensation collections that mainly used to recompensate states which mainly grow by 13.08% in April, right? And the cess collection is about rupees 857 crore which mainly collected on import of goods. So what is the meaning of cess? Cess, it is nothing but a tax on tax, and this tax will be imposed for a special purpose. For example, education, that is Krishi education cess and Krishi Kalyan cess, Swachh Bharat cess, like that. And it is GST compensation cess. That means, so because of implementation of this GST in 2017, here states they have to surrender some taxation power to center. So because of this, here central government said that we are promising so and so amount of growth. Whenever there is a shortfall, that shortfall will be given by the government. So because of this cess which mainly imposed, government came up with this GST Compensation Cess Act, and it started imposing this cess, and this cess will be given, or this compensation will be given for 5 years, that is till 2022. So this is about this topic. And now let us try to see next topic. Title says e-Shram to help settle workers' accident claim. So here you need to know about what is this e-Shram portal. So this will be important from your governance point of view, which comes in a GS paper too, and this topic is important from your PRELIMS. So now let us try to see context. If you say context, it mainly says that top functionaries of the Labor and Employment Ministry. It mainly said that now ministry is working on the mechanism to process this accident insurance claims by unorganized workers who are registered under this e-Shram portal. So actually if you are talking about workers, they will come under organized sector and next one is unorganized sector. So whenever people who are employed or working under this organized sector, they will be having social security benefits, but it will be not available for this unorganized sector. So unfortunately, most of the workers, 85 to 90% of workers in India, they come under this unorganized sector. So because of this, here government came up with this e-Shram portal, right? So under this e-Shram portal, now here Union Labour and Employment Ministry, it is mainly working to process accident insurance claims by this unorganized workers who are reached under this e-Shram portal. So if you are talking about some important details, it mainly says that so this portal was launched 6 months ago, and the aim here it is to create a national database, and this database will be containing details regarding this unorganized workers. And once this unorganized workers, they mainly register under this national database, means they will facilitate some social security schemes for them. And under this, it also promised that workers would be eligible for rupees 2 lakh as accident insurance. So the ministry mainly said that discussions were on the link this e-Shram portal with Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana. So this is a center's already existing accident insurance scheme. So here this scheme which mainly allows workers to get this direct benefit transfer through this e-Shram unique ID number. So if we are talking about what is this e-Shram and what are the objectives of this e-Shram, so it is mainly focusing on welfare of these migrant workers. So here it is an integration of social security schemes like PMJJBMY and as well as PMSBMY, okay, BMJAY. So these are some important schemes of central government. We are mainly coming up with integration of all these, and it mainly provides a national database to center and as well as state governments. So it will be helpful for this tackling of national crisis, for example, that we face during this global pandemic. Okay. And next one is it will be also asserting status and addresses the current location of migrant workers, and it will be also helpful for ascertaining their movement from formal to informal and vice versa. And it will be also helpful for sharing of information with other ministries and state governments for delivering of social security schemes as well. So this is very helpful for the welfare benefits of this migrant and as well as construction workers. And I want to give you one main question. So that is e-Shram portal is a vital system to provide hitherto invisible workers much need visibility. Comment. So try to write answer within 150 words. And now let us try to see next topic, that is regarding this black bug. I found this image which is very interesting in the first page of Delhi edition. So now let us try to talk about some facts regarding this black bug. So this black bug, it is also called as Indian antelope, and this piece of antelope which is mainly native to India and Nepal, and it is mainly seen in states like Rajasthan, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Tamil Nadu and Odisha, and it is mainly considered as epitome of grassland. They are mainly seen in this grassland biome, and it is considered to be the fastest animal in the world, which is next to cheetah. And this black bug, it is a diurnal antelope. It is mainly active during the day, and it is mainly declared as state animal of Punjab, Haryana and Andhra Pradesh. So if you're talking about this black bug, which also have some cultural importance, so it is like a symbol of purity for Hinduism, and skin and as well as horns, they are regarded as a sacred object. And if you're talking regarding Buddhism, it is a symbol of good luck. So if you're talking about protection status of this black bug, so they are protected under Schedule 1 of Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. And in IUCN Red List, they are listed as least concern, and in CITES, they were protected under Appendix 3. And if you're talking about threats for this black buck, they are mainly like habitat fragmentation, deforestation, natural calamities, and as well as illegal hunting. So these are some important articles. Now let us try to say today's question. So first one is the extreme cold winters in central lowlands of USA due to particular polar wind. It is called as blizzard. Option is B. And this one is temperature in the stratosphere increases because of presence of ozone. So this ozone will be absorbing the light, right? So these are the answers for yesterday's questions. And now let us try to see today's questions. So first question is regarding coral reefs. So this coral reefs is seen in news, and we are facing mass extinction because of increasing of global warming, right? So you have to read these three statements and give me the correct option in the comment box. And next question is regarding continental rise. It is one of the feature of our oceanic relief. So you have to know some important facts regarding this continental rise. So this is continental. So we have coast, we have continental steep will be there, and here we can see continental rise will be there, continental shelf, continental deep, continental rise, and here we will be having some other things like mid-Atlantic ocean ridges, buoys will be there, and we can see some islands will be there like this. Okay, so you have to see this continental rise where it is located, and you have to see some statements regarding this continental rise and give me the correct answer here. Okay, so this is about today's questions, and try to give me the answers in the comment box. And let me make a small announcement. So in this Rathod's IAS, we are starting with this UPSC means answer writing practice course, and this course it is for 1 year, and the fee for this course here is just 7,200 rupees for 1 year. And here we are going to cover entire your GS1 to GS4, and there will be also essays practice and as well as case study practice. Okay, so key features here is it is providing 1 year detailed plan. We are mainly focusing on weekly targets, and daily one question will be given. Essay and case study will be given on Sundays, and we are evaluating your answer, and we will be giving you model answer as well, and one-to-one mentorship will be provided in this course. And why to choose this academy? Because it is a budget friendly, it is easily accessible and affordable for everyone, and we are providing one-to-one mentorship, and there is a complete guidance will be given regarding this answer writing. And actually this course which is mainly starting from today at 10 p.m. So if you want to join, please join this course as soon as possible. Please hurry up, and registrations or admissions will be open till May 10th. And next course that we are providing here is a pen drive course for entire foundational course of 2023, and here we are providing more than 600 hours of classes. Here in this courses, especially I am dealing with ethics and geography, Sarvan sir is dealing with economy, Rajesh sir is dealing with history, and Padma ma'am is dealing with this environment and ecology, Raghav ma'am is dealing with polity, and Thanya ma'am is dealing with international relations. And there are much experienced faculty that are present here. They are taking classes in this course. You can take this course, it is very useful. And here if you take this entire foundational course, we are also going to provide prelims test series of 1 year and mains answer writing course of 1 year for free. And you can also take single module here in our website Rathod Science Academy. So if you want to take only history, if you want to take only economy, only polity, so individual modules is also available, so you can take that as well. And important special features of Rathod Science Academy is, so expert faculty is dealing with this, and we are covering our syllabus of UPSC comprehensively, and each and every small topic is also dealt in a great detail, and 100% concept clarity we can provide in this Rathod Science Academy, and more than 600 to 700 hours of classes are providing. And we also provide prelims test series and as well as mains answer writing course, and the cost of this entire foundational course is just 60,000 rupees. And this is our website address. You can visit that website and you can register and you can watch the demo videos for free. Okay, and if you have any queries, please call us on this number, or you can also message me on WhatsApp on this number as well. And now let us try to see today's Hindu newspaper PDF. Yes, this is our today's Hindu. Date is May 2nd, 2022, and this is Delhi edition. So first article we already discussed regarding this GST, and second article we discussed about this eSTEM portal, and there is one article regarding this operational readiness, it is scheme. So our Chief General of Army, he mainly says that we are mainly focusing on priority. So in this priority, we are mainly focusing on high standards of operational preparedness, and also we are focusing on indigenization, modernization of our equipment. So this will be very helpful, and we are mainly trying to ensure very high standards of operational preparedness to face current and contemporary and even future challenges across a spectrum of conflict. So this is the thing which mainly said by our army chief. And this image I discussed regarding this black bug. And here you have to know about one important sanctuary, that is Tal Chapar Sanctuary. So you can get a question like, so this Tal Chapar Sanctuary which is located in which state? That is in Rajasthan. And if you move forward, please leave this city page, there is nothing much important. And if you move further, you can see one article that is coming soon near you, jungle safari in Gurugram's Aravalli range. So you have to know about some facts regarding this Aravalli range. So there was a proposal to develop jungle safari and trekking routes in this Aravalli within this Gurugram, which had been a welcome step by wildlife and as well as nature lovers and as well as conservationists in this region. Okay, so in this image you can see Nilgai which is roaming around in this Gurugram Aravalli belt. So you have to know some facts regarding this Nilgai. Right, actually if you are talking about biodiversity in this Aravalli ranges, as per survey which mainly conducted by Forest Department, so this Aravalli range, which is mainly home for 180 species of birds and 15 species of mammals and reptiles, 29 species of aquatic animals and 7 species of butterflies, which are mainly seen here. So this project is very important because this jungle safari project is a good initiative, because we are mainly expressing some hope that construction of unnecessary infrastructure is mainly avoided, so that minimum disturbance will be caused for this wildlife, and this will be helpful for the nature lovers. And if you move forward to the states page, it is nothing much important, and you can move forward and you can leave this opportunity plus. And here in this editorial page, I discussed about this Third World War, I discussed about this Upsc, and there is one article that is left for you, that is regarding heat waves. So in yesterday's lecture, I discussed about what is this heat wave and what are the conditions or criteria that should be met for this heat wave. And in yesterday's lecture, there are a number of articles regarding this heat wave. So here, whatever the deaths which are happening because of this heat wave, we should consider them as disaster. So this is the thing which mainly said by this article. For that, the compensation should be given by the state. And if you move forward in this text and context, I discussed regarding this topic, that is Delhi dual governance. I discussed regarding this jute industry in West Bengal. So there is one more article important here, is a new perspective of fertility and income levels. So actually economists, they have a generally explained theory that, so there is inverse relationship between income and fertility. So whenever the income is increasing, the fertility will be decreased. But here now what happened? So now there are women who are present in the today's generation, they are getting more support from their family and the state, and they are mainly coming up to raise their children. So in the working conditions also, in their workplace also, there is improving of conditions for especially nursing. So we are having creatures, okay, such that there might be increasing of fertility rate, that will be seen in the future. And next, if you come to this news page, there is one article that is trade pact between India and UAE is active. So here you need to talk about India UAE SEPA. So already we discussed this topic number of times, you have to revise that topic. And here the key post of national security interest to fall vacant soon, you can easily talk about this topic. For example, you have to know about IB, that is Intelligence Bureau, and as well as RAW. And if you move forward, there is one article that is, we will try to strengthen spirit of cooperation with Europe. Okay, so this article is important because our Prime Minister is in visit with this European countries. So once this visit is done, we are going to see the highlights of this visit. And next one is keep health facilities prepared for heat wave cases, says the center. So because of increasing of temperature here, so we need to focus on sufficient drinking water availability at the health facilities, and even we need to continue functioning of cooling appliances in the critical areas. And we need to focus on even rainwater harvesting and as well as recycling of plants. Okay, and actually the temperature already had reached 46 degrees centigrade in some places, and we are experiencing severe heat. Okay, and we need to go for community level awareness regarding what are the steps that need to be taken, mainly to decrease the impact of this heat wave. And if you move forward, there is nothing in this money wise. And in this world page, there is one article regarding Saudi Arabia offers Pakistan $8 billion in financial support. You have to see this topic. So these are some important articles that appear in this today's Hindu newspaper. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. Please subscribe to Rathod's IAS Academy and don't forget to like, share and comment my videos. Thank you so much.